And I'm going to spend just a little bit of time explaining to you what is a local and what is a remote server. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. First of all, now you should have from the last lesson, you should have your site defined. You know that because you see the green folders and you see your site name that you chose here. What you should do next is let's go to site, let's go to manage sites, and this is how you edit the site. Now when you define a site, you can have as many sites as you want. Okay, so for every person that you're working on a project or a website for, let's say if you're doing this for a living, you might be working on like a dozen different sites at the same time. So for every new project you would define a site. Alright, so you just go edit the site, click on next. Okay, so this is where you're working on your local machine, so we want to talk about what local means. And here, now normally we would use probably something like FTP. Alright, and this is how do you connect your remote server. So so what is a remote server? Why is it important? Here's some information. Chances are you're working on a website project because you or someone else is you want to share information with the rest of the world, or you want to share information with a number of people. But what you don't want to do is as you're building your site, you don't want to share it with the rest of the world. So what you're going to do is, chances are you're going to start with your home computer, your notebook, or maybe your computer at the office, and you're going to start to build and assemble your website on your local machine. Okay, so this is a local machine. So you need to tell Dreamweaver where on your local machine are your files going to be stored. Right? So you say your files are stored on your local machine. Now what's going to happen is when you're let's say halfway done or completely done your website, now it's time to share it with the rest of the world. So what you don't want to do is you don't want everyone in the world to connect to your computer, I mean your personal computer at home. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to upload your website, which is here what you see in green, into a server. That server is located in the internet cloud, and what that server is going to do is that server is going to share your data with the rest of the world so that everyone else can access it. Alright, so what you need to do is you need to upload your files from here, okay, all the way up to here. And you need to place your files in the on the server, and the server's responsibility to share it with the rest of the world. It might look something like this. So these are the so these are the other so these are the other clients, okay, the other computers that want to view your web page. Now in order for them to view the web page, they obtain the information from the server, okay, and the server shares your your information with everyone else, and not your computer. So what happens is as you update your website, you change it here, okay, you upload your changes back to the server, okay, and the server will share it with everyone else. Okay, so this is the local machine and this is the web server. Okay, so in here in Dreamweaver, this is where you tell Dreamweaver what the address of the web server is. So in other words, how to find this web server. Okay, it's going to be either a number or a name on that web server, on that remote web server. Okay, you need to tell Dreamweaver what folder to store it in, and then you need to tell Dreamweaver what is your login and your password. Where to get the login and the password? Well, whoever runs this web server is going to give you a login and a password. What is the reason for a login and password? The reason is because, well, this server is not just here for you to host your website, but chances are a number of other people, probably hundreds or thousands of other people, are also using this server to host their own websites. Alright, so it might look something like this. So here's you. This is your local machine. You have a website. You've uploaded to a specific folder in the web server. Alright, so this is someone else's website, and they're working on it on their local machine here. Okay, and when they're done working on it, they are also going to put it onto the server, just like that. Now, so this person is working off their local machine, and they're going to put it on a specific folder in the server. You're working on your local machine, and you're going to put your files in a specific folder on the web server. You do not have access to this folder. this person doesn't have access to your folder. So in order for the server to identify who is accessing this folder, it needs to give you a username and password that only you have, and that's how you connect to your folder. And a server's job, a server could host like many different websites, and that's how it works. Okay. So these are the local machines. These are the remote servers. The local machine is used to develop the website, the information, and as you're completing the information, you can upload the changes to the server where it gets shared with the rest of the world. Okay. And in this define a site, this is where you would, this is where you would let the computer know how to connect to your remote server. All right. So so right now we're not really connecting to a remote server, so we're going to click none for now, and then we're going to click next. Oh, and when there's FTP is not the only way to connect to a remote server. There's other ways too, but by far the most common are the first two, FTP and the network, which is probably why they're located first. All right.